Hello and welcome everybody to the Virtual Athletics League VAL VR Fitness Summit Racket NX Finals. I am your host, The Collateral, and I am here joined today with a co-host and also a competitor, Unmarked.
I am unmarked, and man, this is always exciting to watch Racket NX. I'm excited to see what happens, and yeah, let's do it.
And it's very interesting to have you on here too, because like I said, you are a competitor in this finals. And just like this, we're actually going to jump right into round one, and it is the semifinal number one, and it is between Stand Atlantic and none other than the man himself, Unmarked.
All right, I think I remember what happened, but yeah, let's do it. I won't spoil it for anybody, I promise. No spoilers.
No spoilers. So jumping into something like this, like Racket NX, can we get a brief summary for everyone that's kind of watching for the first time here, what it is?
I mean, it's what we're seeing here, and it's yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to describe, but it's it's sort of like some kind of combination between racquetball and pinball, and the general objective is you take turns taking shots in multiplayer, and you're trying to clear these yellow, red, orange targets, and then maybe throw in a few pluses alongside of it to get extra points. But bottom line, it's a tug of war. If you look at the score at the bottom, each person starts at 500 points, and it's a tug of war, and the first person to get to 1,000 and the other person would be at 0, they win the game.
Okay. So for someone who is new to watching everything, how physically intense is this game from a VR athlete standpoint?
In the multiplayer version, it can be moderately intense. I mean, I certainly know all the matches. Anytime I ever play a match in this game, especially the high stakes ones, it gets pretty intense and the sweat gets up a little bit. But multiplayer isn't super physically intense, but the solo levels, some of the practice levels in the arcade mode, you can really get a really good sweat going there.
Right. So now, for someone playing against somebody else here, it looks like you get a 1K already, so you're up 1-0.
Yeah, I
already here
got a KO in the first set, and so yeah, what we're doing, each game or each match, I should say, is the best of 3 sets, and I just won the first set in the first game or the first match, and the tournament, the entire game here is best of 3 matches is what we're doing. I'm sorry, the best of 5 matches, the first person to win 3.
Good swing.
Okay, I gotcha. So you're up right here in the first one. So what happened in the first one? They got you the KO easy there. I mean, it was relatively quick the first couple minutes there. Did you do anything out of the ordinary that kind of helped you out there? Did your opponent make a mistake, or what happened?
The crazy thing about this game is it only takes, especially at the upper levels of the game, it only takes a few little mistakes and things go downhill really fast. Now, if we look in this match, I mean, it's pretty even. If you look at the score and it's near 500 to 500, everything's pretty even. An average shot might be 150 points, so it's going to swing back and forth a little bit, but if it's around there, it's pretty close. And this set here is still very close.
Right. So essentially what happens is after you hit the ball and it goes on the wall there and it's getting all the points, you are essentially looking at what your opponent's doing and looking at the board to set up your next shot, correct?
Yeah, and that's one of the things I really love about this game is it's got I'm always been a pretty big turn-based strategy game, and there's not an intense amount of strategy here, but there is some. Depending on the shot that your opponent took, you have to sort of decide where to take your shot, and it's a lot of fun.
Right. And just like that, you're up 2-0 already. So now you won the first match.
I did. I won the first match against Stand Atlantic.
Now you are up 1-0. Gotcha. And so in a situation like this where you're up 1-0 already going into the second game and you've kind of KO'd your opponent relatively quickly with ease, what are you thinking here? Are you pushing the pedal all the way down? Are you kind of slowing it down, trying to focus here, collect your bearings? What are you thinking here personally?
Yeah, I think honestly I just get in a pretty good groove when I'm playing the game, and like I've mentioned, I play this game a ton. It's by far my favorite VR game. And so it's just kind of, yeah, you just get in a groove and you just do your thing. I mean, if I'm starting to lose, that might change a little bit. I might get a little nervous, but I think right here I'm feeling pretty good still. Yeah.
And now, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you hit the ball there, your opponent has the option to recall it back to him whenever he wants, correct?
To some extent.
After a certain point.
Yeah, so once the ball will leave the wall whenever it's lost enough momentum, and then it goes to your opponent. But you have the tractor beam, basically is what we call it in the game,
Right.
that you can use to sort of control the general direction and timing of when it gets to you. Which is
Okay.
a very important strategic thing to do. There's other players in the game that are really, really good at it. I'm okay with the tractor beam, but there's some people that are really, really talented with it.
I gotcha. So in a situation like this game is full 360 as I see here. So you can hit the ball and completely turn around and look and line up your next shot while they're still doing their shot. Is there anything as far as, like, for example, in other games, people are like what they call griefing, where they essentially, set their player up and their opponent up for like nothing? Is there anything in line with that in this game as far as like thinking 2-3 shots ahead as far as leaving your opponent with nothing? I'm sure there is, but obviously you can put a different perspective from it.
There is some at the very high levels of the game where it's very few, because the game designers, Hamza, the developers of this, did a really good job, but there are a few places in the game on a few particular boards on a few levels where it is sometimes advantageous to not completely clear a target, but those are really few and far between. I mean, and because of the way the tractor beam works in this game, you have a lot of time, more than a lot of other games, to consider your shot and consider what you want to do.
Right.
Round 1.
Right.
Complete.
And just like that, you were up again 1-0 in match number 2 here. So at this point, if this is you in Stand Atlantic's position, you're down, essentially 3-0 essentially here. What would you be doing in his shoes?
Try not to panic.
Obviously,
ooh,
right.
That's a good opening shot from Stand Atlantic there. Yeah,
He goes with a 675 there, right, from 500 and brings it all the way down.
But unfortunately my shot was just a little bit better there to come back. That's another, the game is so, like, it's very discrete in the sense that, one set is completely isolated from every other.
Right.
And, so if you were a robot playing this game, which some people have accused me of being, you would just try to completely ignore, everything that's happened beforehand, but obviously that's hard to do.
Right. So what have you noticed from playing Stand Atlantic here in this semifinal? Did you notice anything that he does particularly well, or something that he doesn't do as well, or something that you just didn't do as well against him? Is there any strat or any like fundamental part of this game here that you kind of were slacking on or anything like that?
No, I don't think there's anything specific to Stand Atlantic that he does poorly. If anything, the thing that he does poorly is he's just not as obsessed with the game as I am. That's been his. I think honestly, that's all it is. It just comes down to playing the game a ton and a ridiculous amount of practice.
Right. And now the competitive community of Racket NX is very tight knit. You can correct me if I'm wrong there. How many other tournaments and events and stuff have you been doing with Racket NX as far as playing like the high level and stuff? As far as like for anybody else that's new and interested in Racket NX, what is the top level scene like?
Yeah, I mean, I've been kind of playing pretty hardcore for the past year, I'd say, ever since it came out on Quest, and in that time there have been 2 other tournaments. There have been 2 other ones, and they've been a lot of fun. The last one we did was actually like a 2-month-long league that led into a tournament in it, and
nice.
but yeah, it's always the same guys. It's always the same people playing.
Right. And how user-friendly, beginner-friendly is a game like this? I know from me playing it and looking around through it and everything, there is a lot of solo practice modes and kind of casual. I think there's a Zen mode as well, if I'm not mistaken, that kind of just briefly allows you to play the game and not be super competitive, and you can listen to music and kind of hang out and stuff. As far as acquiring new players and stuff like that, how does the game work, and what do you think they do so well?
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely the way that there's always new players asking what they need to do, and it's so boring, but really it's just perfecting the swing, and that comes with practice. I mean, there's certainly some strategy aspects and things to perfect that, but as to how to perfect that swing, I think the arcade mode and the solo levels are really great for that, and especially Zen mode, because it's like a no-fail mode essentially. So it's really great to just get your swing down and just figure out all the mechanics of the game. And like you said, the fact that you can put your own music in the game is really a popular thing. It makes it a lot easier just to kind of chill out and listen to your own music and hit the ball.
Exactly. And so we see here in this game here now, actually State Atlantic is doing pretty well here. Still pretty even with you. Like you said, going back in the range of 6 to 400, something like that
So,
is still pretty basic,
yeah,
pretty
and
even game.
there's
Yeah, go ahead.
there's 3 ways the game can end, or I'm sorry, a set can end. It can either end by a knockout if you each get, or one person gets to 1,000 points and the other person gets to 0.
Right.
But it can also end at the end. We're in the 6th wave of 7 waves, and it just goes to points after that. Or if we also look, there's like a minute 20 left out of 5 minutes. So this particular set has gone a long way. It's gone very deep, and
Right.
it could end any of the 3 ways at this point, honestly. Because this is the final. This is the very final wave right here.
Right. Okay. Okay. Final wave meaning the wave on the board of what pops up and what you guys can complete and
Yes.
finish.
Yes.
So at that point, when you see the final wave, you're immediately trying to spin 360 and see what's on the board so you can grab before your opponent does. Correct?
Yeah. And then the people that play this game way too much like me, you basically have the. I mean, I think there's. How many boards would there be? There's like 85 boards in the entire game.
Okay.
And but they're all predetermined. There's no surprises there. There are some random aspects of like we haven't really talked about it yet, but when the power-ups come up and how they come up.
Right, I actually saw those. Can you explain to me what those are and explain to the viewers what potentially the power-ups do for each individual player?
Yeah, I mean, they next time one comes up, we will definitely talk about it, but there's about 5 or 6 different power-ups in the game, and you basically, I mean, it's just a floating little target there, and if you hit it, you get some sort of bonus, whether it just be a flat point bonus, or there's one called splash damage, which basically sends out little shotgun pellets, and there's a bunch of cool ones. Okay.
Right.
So that one went to, wow, yeah, okay, so that one went to points, and Stand Atlantic actually got that one. Okay, we finished the wave and went to points.
Right, he looked pretty strong there. He kind of had the lead the whole time there.
Yeah, I was just never able to quite come back. And then, so this particular set of waves is called Vood here, and this is, we did this one earlier. So there's 13 of them, but they do sometimes repeat.
Okay, to start off here, you see jump out to a pretty early lead there, up to almost 700, 300 here, but as St. Atlantic hits the shot back, kind of goes back, looks like it's 750, 745 to 255 here.
Yeah, I mean,
so you're in pretty good control here. Go ahead.
Because some shots tend to be, I mean, every board's different, but an average shot at the beginning might be 150 or 200 points. So there's going to always be that sort of swing between 300, 700, and then 500, 500. And if it's around that, you're still kind of in the middle of the game. Nobody's got a huge advantage.
Excellent.
But yeah, with me having this shot now being up, I have the shot now and at 750. That's a pretty good advantage at this point.
Right.
Okay, so
in a
here,
situation like this, from what you've seen, was that something in the lines of you making a better shot than St. Atlantic, or did he make a mistake there, or what? Because I feel like in a game like this, essentially, obviously, like you said, and you do KO him here, so we see that there. You take down set number 2, so you're up 2-0. But in a situation like that where you are up, really early on, the first 30, 45 seconds, you're up like 800 to 200 or whatever. Is that typically because your opponent makes a mistake, or is that typically because you just hit and you just know the perfect shot, the perfect angle, and everything like that? How does that typically work?
I would say on the higher levels, like, definitely what this is, it usually is the mistake. Everybody at this level knows what the big shots are. They know what shots they have to take. It's just a question of sometimes some of them are a little bit more difficult to execute, and if you... Some of the best shots, what really is kind of fun about this game is some of the best shots you're right on the kind of knife's edge. If you hit it perfectly, you got 300 points, and if you just miss it, you get 0. So
high risk, high reward.
Exactly, yeah.
Right. So that's interesting here. So now you are up 2 matches to none, excuse me.
Yeah.
This is on the final match here. If you do take this down, you do win 3-0 and move on to the actual grand finals here. And it looks like you're up about 600 to 400 here, but like again, that we've heard from you, that typically doesn't really mean too much because again, one shot is about 100, 150 points if done correctly. So just like that here, let's kind of have you walk us through here what's going on.
All right, so it looks like Stand Atlantic is about to finish this particular wave, and then we pop into the third wave of this set. Now, what typically is going to happen is a power-up is about to come up here, and oh, no, it didn't. Okay, so what'll happen is on the next wave, it's about a 50% chance on any given wave after the third wave on whether or not a power-up is going to come up, and they can be game-changing. But so you see, these targets are fairly isolated, so at this point, you're just trying to clear one target, get a few extra pluses, gives you an extra 100 points, or 50 points at the end of it, and then clear it. You want to try to complete an entire target in one shot, if possible.
Right.
So this is the
So now,
power up.
Is that a power up? Yeah.
Yeah, and
Okay.
then Stand Atlantic just missed it. It's the splash damage, which sort of gives you like a shotgun blast. So it allows you to have,
Right.
yeah, you'll typically clear more. I missed that shot there, but you'll typically clear more of a target when you have that going for you.
And so now power ups, I'm assuming they're 100% beneficial in every single situation, correct?
Almost always. There's a few power-ups that aren't. No, and actually no. That definitely is wrong. There are some power-ups in some circumstances which are absolutely a mistake to take. There's one called the Wrecking Ball, which sort of the ball doesn't roll anymore along the walls like it does here. It just pounds the wall and beats up the whatever target happens to be in front of it. But on certain levels, you're at a big disadvantage if you take that, because you just, for instance, the red downers there, the skull and crossbones, those take away points, and it's very difficult, or a lot of times it's difficult if you take something like the Wrecking Ball to avoid those. So it can be really dangerous to do.
Okay. Excuse me. And now in a situation like this, in its high-level gameplay here in the tournament gameplay, I'm assuming that when you hit the skull and crossbones here, it's kind of like really detrimental to your score and kind of does throw you off quite a bit, right?
Almost always. So, obviously you want to hit as many targets or pieces of targets as possible, and not only do the downers, the skulls, take away points, they take away 20 points each, they also significantly slow down your ball, so it's going to leave the wall sooner, and you're probably not going to hit much else except just the downers, and then that's a big downer when you do that, yeah.
It's a big downer when you hit the downers, huh?
Yeah, I'm sure that's the first time anybody's ever said that. So yeah, I'm trademarking that.
I like it here. So we jump in. You actually do KO Stand Atlantic on that one as well. So that does put you up now, I believe, 1-0 here in match number 3, while you are up 2 matches to none, and you are up now 630 to about 370 here. You can see there does Stand Atlantic does get a nice, pretty good shot there, makes it pretty much even.
Yeah, and so it's where there's just the 125 shot there, and he's just gonna take. I'm just looking around to see, but he's gonna take this last little one, and then we go into the new wave here, where there are. This is another place where there's the big shot. Let's see if I hit it. I don't know. I did hit it. By connecting those 2 targets together you get the points for both of them, but you also get a bonus for clearing multiple targets in one shot. And it's a big. It's a big thing to do.
So now when you hit that shot, and there's no fault there to Stand Atlantic because he cleared the way before, so he had no opportunity to hit that. How does Stand Atlantic recover from something like that? Because it's just you got the first shot on the board and you cleared multiple, targets out. I mean, obviously, I'm sure there's more, shots like that in the future that can protect him and save him from that. But a situation like that, it seems almost like at that point it was made for you to hit that shot. Is there what can he do in a situation moving forward to recover?
There's a couple of things you can kind of do, but there's not a ton. I mean, you can try to engineer things so that there are certain waves where it's super powerful to get the first shot, and you can try to engineer the amount of good shots that are left so that you are the first one to take a shot there. But it's usually really the cost to your own score to not play optimally is almost always a mistake to try to do that.
Right.
Okay, and all right, there it is.
Score 0-2.
So that is semifinals number 1, and that is in
victory.
The bag there. We have Unmarked, our commentator, actually taking on Stand Atlantic, moving on to the finals. So in our other semifinals, we have Mazo and Boztich. Do you know anything about these competitors, Unmarked?
Yeah. I mean, I know Boztich is actually he's a fun guy. I know he's from Sweden, outside of Stockholm, and I know for the longest time when I first started playing this a year ago, he was the absolute king of the game, and he's still. I mean, as we record this, he is on the top of the multiplayer leaderboard, but he and I have always been pretty close up there. But and he's done something I was talking about earlier with the ability to use the tractor beam creatively. Boztich is he is the original creator of finding creative ways to use it. It's some of the stuff he does with it is really, really impressive. He's
Wow, and that shot right there actually was incredible.
yeah, that is a really good shot to get the 275 there. That's the absolute best you can do on this board. And
incredible.
I know Mazo, he's from North Carolina, and he is he's an editor of horror stories, but he's also a writer of horror stories. And his name Mazo actually comes from a demon that was in one of his stories.
Nice move.
So he's such a nice.
Oh, that's very interesting.
He's such a nice guy that yeah, I learned recently that Mazo was actually a demon. So yeah, now I don't know what to think about him. But yeah.
So you can see there, even with that incredible hit early on, that 275, correct? That's the highest you can
Yeah,
get.
on that board.
Even with that 275, Boz is still actually pretty even here. As it
It's
goes back
pretty even.
into
Mazo
Mazo's
did a
shot
really good job of getting back in it. And so the trick here is Bostic gets the first shot, but what? No, the game made me a liar. What often? So the way the power-ups also work is they sort of balance it out because, like we mentioned earlier, the first shot often has an advantage, but the power-up only shows up after the first shot, so it's the other player that gets the opportunity to get the power up, and depending on what it is, so yeah, if a power up had come up here, it does balance it out. If a power up had come up there, Mazo would have been in a much better position, but unfortunately, bad luck, it didn't, and Mazo gets a good shot there to bring things close to back.
Just like you said earlier, there are, in this tournament specifically, the VR Fitness Summit here by DAL that we are running. You are playing best of 5 matches, so first 3 matches total. So if you do end up making a mistake early on in a game like this, as you can see right there, Boz does hit, I think 3 or 4 of the downers, only getting 70 points there.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's totally okay because there's still so many more sets and so many more matches he played.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely the case, and with these those snakes is what we call these guys that are moving around, and when there's just a single snake there, they're really tricky. They're really kind of unpredictable, and it's hard to know exactly where they're gonna go. But yeah, like you said, I mean, this is definitely a bit of a marathon. So you need to just take your time and just try to at the high levels, it comes down to just minimizing the mistakes that you make. That's all you can really do.
Which pretty much just comes down to any kind of competitive game, is minimizing mistakes and stuff. But I feel like in a game like this where things are constantly moving and it kind of affects with the way your opponent plays and stuff, mistakes and changes and stuff are always going to happen, especially with you being able to control the board when you shoot, and then they being able to control the board when they shoot. So it's a kind of interesting twist here. I do like the aspect of here, and I will say that I am relatively new to this game, and I did play a couple times, whatever. It's kind of hard to follow along, but then in the matter of talking to you here for minutes or anything, I feel like I completely understand everything about the game. It's very, very complex to get into, so to say, but not really, not at all.
I mean, some of the strategy aspects of it are a little complex, but it just comes down to putting the ball where you want to put it and hitting as many pluses and I mean, yeah, it's easier said than done, but the concept of the game is really simple. The execution, yeah, I mean, that's what makes it fun though, is that there's a high, I wouldn't say necessarily a high learning curve, but there's a long way to go in the game. There's always something to improve.
So now, I can see that, for example, there, Mazo, you do the friendly little wave there, huh? Is that typical sportsmanship there at the end of each game?
Yeah, definitely. That's you kind of, or you also, it's pretty common to shake hands after a match, maybe, which is just putting your racket kind of next to each other and simulating a handshake. Or high-fiving with the rackets. I mean, that is so fun that in VR. Ooh, that's a pretty good opener by Bostic there.
That was completely on the bottom.
Yeah, it's just when you can do it straight across there. Yeah.
Right. And I want to ask, when the ball does return there, so you see that it does pass Boz, and then he kind of recalls it back. Is that common to let the ball pass and then come back so you can kind of set yourself up for the angle for the next shot? Is that what they're doing?
Yeah, that is the most common way to do it because it gives you. So yeah, Bostic, he let it pass himself about 3 times there, and like I was saying, he was the first guy to really realize the potential of the tractor beam and all of the crazy things you can do with it. And so yeah, I mean, look at him. He's just he's an artist when he does that stuff. I'm
just toying with it.
I've tried to copy. I mean, I can do a little bit of what he does, but no, he's an artist.
You can see that just like that off that first 200 shot. all the way up to 775 right now. Looks like he's in complete control here.
Yeah, and that's
Looks
just
like
the first wave is done
from-
now, and he's
Right,
already.
now we're on wave 3.
He has that's a bit of a mistake there, but he has first shot and he's up by a decent amount, so you know he's got control in the game at this point.
Right. It looks like Mazo's not capitalizing on those mistakes either, which seems to be in this situation, especially against someone like Boz or even anybody in this high level of stakes here. If your opponent makes a mistake, and this is obviously a very general, broad statement in any game, but if your opponent makes a mistake, you need to capitalize on it here. And again, it looks like Boz does hit the downer. So
That was a
a
pretty big mistake, and let's see.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, only getting 30.
So
Yeah,
this
that's interesting.
this particular set of waves is called social distance, and it came out right after the coronavirus. And this entire set of waves is kind of frustrating. It's really difficult, but it's this particular wave specifically that every player hates the absolute most, which I kind of love that it's named. I mean, it's called social distance because, yeah, of course, nobody loves it, but
Right.
and it is kind of frustrating. I think it's a very thematically named a set of waves here. It's really good. It's pretty common to make a lot of mistakes here.
Right, I see that. The highest thing we've seen in this wave so far is like 70 points. That's
Yeah,
it. As I
yeah.
say that, Boz gets 105. Yeah, so going to the next wave here. This is wave 4, correct?
Yeah, wave 3. It's wave 3. This is wave 3.
Wave 3. Wave 3. Okay.
And so yeah,
Wave 3, and it looks like, what are we at here? We're at 410, 590. It's a Mazo's hit.
it's pretty. Yeah, and he does a good job there. I mean, it's
Yeah,
again,
not too
this one's
bad.
pretty even. The thing is so Bozdich has the splash damage now, which gives you 3 shots with the shotgun blast, and he did a really awesome thing that he also developed, where he only, since there was only a single target left, he actually doesn't waste one of his shotgun blasts on that. He just, with the tractor beam, he flicks it into the target and saves it for on a board like this where it's much more valuable. Yeah, he just so many creative things with the
Right.
tractor beam that's just fun to watch.
And it looks like with that, he's up 780, 220 here, so let's see what Mazo can hit there.
Yeah,
Only getting 55 there, which is not...
yeah, you're just kind of
Not terrible.
clearing the board at this point. All the big shots. What
Yeah.
tends to happen is the big shots are going to be the first shots on a board on a wave,
Right.
and then they tend to diminish, and then you just kind of have to clean up the last little 50-point shots or whatever's left. They diminish in
Right.
excitement.
And just like that, with a new wave coming out, it looks like... Oh, let's wait a second here. Oh, with a 350 for Mazo.
It was a
Almost
beautiful
completely down and
use.
out there. That's incredible.
Yeah, that was a maze. That particular power-up puts like this bouncy maze pattern all over
Right.
the board, and he used it perfectly. And yeah, I mean, he got back into the match, into the set,
Right.
absolutely with that one. It was a really good move.
And even with Boz kind of, taking control of this whole game here, even with Mazo getting that shot there, I still feel like Boz is in the driver's seat because there is only a minute 5 left here. And as long as Boz just kind of slows it down and focuses and hits the shot here, it's going to be kind of a hard hill for Mazo to climb here.
Yeah, and the bigger issue is that this is the 6th wave of 7, and the 7th wave usually
True.
goes pretty fast here too. They will finish this wave, and now this is the last one. And again, this is just, if you don't play the game a bunch, you might not realize how difficult it is just to put. But you have to hit it on those orange targets. If you hit it on the, I don't know, magenta, red ones, it's a portal that's going to disappear. So there's, like that. That's a mistake.
that right
there's
there,
just
right.
no room for error on this board. Social distance, everybody hates it.
And that pretty much seals it right
And,
there.
yep,
Just as we
that
said
one,
after a
yeah.
mistake. Yep.
Yeah.
0 to 2.
So I believe that is match number 1.
Yes.
It's match number 1 that goes down to Boz here. And again, actually, one thing I want to point out is that we are seeing a third-person perspective casting here, which is, in your eyes, like you said earlier, and mine too, a better perspective for casting because you see both players.
Yeah, it's
Points of view here.
This is Bozditch's. In the first match, both me and Stand Atlantic were on the quest, and Mazo's on the quest. Bozditch is dealing with a PC player, and the quest is great. I mean, to play this game with all the 360 spinning with no wires is really awesome, but it doesn't quite have the power the quest does. It doesn't have the power to generate a third-person view in addition to your first-person view. So yeah, but as far as watching the game, this is by far the best way to watch the game. You can see everybody's movements all the time and what they're doing.
And it's interesting to see though, because you can as the camera moves, you can see everything you need to see about what the player's thinking here. You can kind of see their thought process. You can see them line up their shots. And it's very, very intriguing here to watch that.
Yeah, I mean, it is. you make a good point that especially for beginners to the game, you get a much better sense of what everybody's doing. Oh, that's a good shot there. And what everybody's, what they're doing and what they're thinking. 375, yeah, that's a big.
375. That's incredible. He went around on both those cogs,
Yeah.
both those settings cogs. There, as we
Yeah.
have to call it. That's incredible.
Yeah, that board is the biggest shot I've ever seen in the game happens on that board. There's some crazy pinball-y action that can happen on that particular wave, and you can get some really huge shots if you hit it just right. Oh, that is a good shot to close that out.
Complete.
Just like that, Boz is now up
0-1.
1-0 on the matches and up 1-0 in match number 2.
Yep.
In kind of complete control here. I don't know what more Mazo can do here. I mean, obviously he's making a couple mistakes here as we pointed out and stuff, but it looks like, but also so has Boz. Boz has definitely made some mistakes that we pointed out too, but I don't know if Mazo's capitalizing too well on that.
Yeah, I mean, that first shot there was a bit of a mistake from Boz, but then, Mazo does the exact same thing and 90 points.
Right.
Now that looks like, yeah, that's the big shot there, and Bostic is really good at that shot, and so Mazo needs to equalize, and he does an okay job, but he didn't completely clear that first target, so yeah, he's behind the ball.
He's not going on wave 2 is 700 to 300, right? Just setting himself up for that bit. But he does get a nice shot there, gets it back though, kind of clearing out the first shot in the second wave there. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, but
look at that! Oh my gosh!
Yeah, not quite as good.
The way the ball travels. Look what
yeah,
Boz is
yeah, it's very precise. If you hit those the nitro panels, those kind of speed panels there, it really can just keep the ball going and going and going. And that's what happened on the last wave with those cogs there we were talking about. If you line things up just right and you can continually hit those nitro panels, it can just go forever. And tons of points.
Let's see how this shot goes. 175. It looks like I was gonna say Mazo's in control, but now it is his shot as he is down here. Does get a nice bonus there. Uh-oh.
No, he hit the jackpot power up, which gave him a 125-point bonus, and he followed. Sometimes you don't have as much time after a power up to take your shot, so you can't really line things up quite as well as you normally would. But he did a great job of getting his shot done in a faster pace than normal. And yeah, this one is pretty close. That's a bit of a mistake there, but I mean, Bostic has the slight advantage. And so what's happening here is the next wave that's coming has a really big first shot, so neither player super wanted to be the second one to shoot here.
Right.
But wow, Boz, he messed up. That's a bad miss there. That's that's a pretty good shot from Mazo to follow it up with. But there's a potential 400-point shot here, and Bostic missed it and just got, I don't know what he got, like 30 or something like that. Yeah, so
I'm getting 30 there for Mazo. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
These snakes are so so tricky because you get a huge 100-point bonus for finishing a snake, but just getting the first 3 sections of snake there is 30 points, and so you almost run into a situation where you don't want to be the first person to touch a snake, but if you can finish it all in one shot, it's a big bonus, and it's kind of a gamble on what you want to decide to do there.
And just like that, Boz is up by a commanding 350 there, but
another good. I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah,
it's
going back and
it
forth.
looks like it, but when at the beginning of a wave, when you have 200 points, that's a really good shot. When you have 200-point shots all over the place, 300, 700, and 500, 500 are just going to keep going back and forth.
Right.
And then now we're down to the kind of the realm where it's about 100-point shots remain, and so. Yeah, Bostic is still, he's got a decent lead here, but it's well within the realm of any possibility of what could happen here.
It's a couple 105 back to back.
140 and
40. So now it starts up with Mazo with a new wave. Let's see what he can do here.
And the tricky thing, there's some big point shots here, but this is the penultimate wave. On the very last wave on this particular set of waves, it's really hard to come back and there's not a lot of huge shots there, and it tends to be just kind of trading points. So you really want to be in the lead going into this very last set. Ooh, that is a big mistake there.
Yep.
And and like I said, no matter what happens here, going into this. Oh wait, what's going on here? There's one more. I didn't see that target there, but
We're
Yeah,
up 900 to 100 here. It looks like it's pretty much back to the
It is. There's there's 100-point shots here, but they're kind of easy, and there's a bunch of them, and yeah, you're unless the only way that you can really come back on this particular wave is if some awesome power-up comes up, and there are a few. One of the probably the most game-changing power-ups out there is called the nuke, and you just when you hit it, it destroys everything behind it and gives you points for all of it. And if you can line that up just right, it can be a 500. I've seen 700-point shots or close to it anyway with it. I mean, it can. So there's some luck involved, but yeah, unfortunately for Mazo, nothing like that came out. So they're basically just, yeah, it's academic at this point. They're just finishing it up.
So that will give Boz a 2-0 lead on matches going into match 3.
Eventually, and there it
You're
is.
only
Yeah.
doing 2 more sets left. So 7-15 and 285.
Final score,
Pretty good play there. And again, the whole story of this match here is not that Mazo's playing bad. It's that Mazo just can't capitalize on the mistakes that Boz is playing. Mazo's hitting incredible shots as well, just like Boz is. But it's just when Mazo needs those shots, they're just not coming through. So we'll see what happens here on match number 3 here as they get set up here. And I'm sure in Mazo's head right now, he's thinking he's taking some deep breaths, he's relaxing, he's calming down here. He knows he's, on the wall here with what's going on with the scoring and everything, the match setup here. But all he's got to do is, like you said, just play your own game and just relax. Everything should be fine.
Yeah, and it's everybody's favorite again, social distance. So
Yeah.
it's going to be a tough. I mean, on the very first wave here, there can be some big shots, but there's a lot of really kind of claustrophobic feeling waves on this set of waves here, and yeah, they can be really kind of, I don't know, anxiety-inducing, like social distancing can be. But yeah.
So with it being social distancing, and with Mazo getting the first shot here, who does this benefit the most? Who do you think?
I mean, probably Bozdich. I think, at this point, he's won this wave one time already, and when they played, or I should say, this set of waves, and especially there's a few shots on this. Yeah, again, this board is just so full of tough. It makes me, just watching this gets me a little stressed. It is a claustrophobic feeling wave.
Because this board, again, is social distancing, like you said, so a lot of the points and the targets are kind of spread out like that, so it's not going to get the big 200, 300, 400 point hits, which are not bad, but not, fun to play.
Yeah, and it's just a lot of the big, there are a few big-ish shots here, but it's the kind of thing where there's a lot of, that's a really good shot to connect the 2 singles and plow through a red, and you lose the 20 points.
That brought him back quite a bit.
But, yeah, and here's another one. I mean, again, there are some big shots here, which, Mazo does a good job of there, but it's right next to the red downers, and it can be, it's always kind of on the knife edge on this particular set of waves.
7th Street.
See here, it's Boz's shot, and he's up by 300. So right now it goes back to Mazo, so now he's up by 500. But Mazo's shot here, on a brand new wave.
See if a power up comes up here. Nope. Every time I talk about maybe a power up coming up, but Bozdich,
you're a liar, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're a liar.
Bozdich did the same thing again, where he has the splash damage here, the shotgun blast, and he saved it at the end of the last wave so that he wouldn't use it all up here, and boom.
Right.
That's all it takes. I mean, that's a powerful place to have splash damage. It can make, it's really, you can't, on the set of targets that are there, you can't clear them in one shot without something like splash damage. So it's big.
So as we go into set number 2 here of match number 3, Boz is up 2 matches to none and up 1 set in match 3. He has complete control here.
And I don't know what...
And it is actually his shot. Yeah, I don't know what just happened there. He's up 800 to 200 on the second shot.
Mazo hit a shot where I don't know, he just tapped the ball. Sometimes if you aren't giving a good enough of a swing, the ball doesn't roll along the wall at all. And I guess that's what happened there. That's an unfortunate miss. It doesn't happen very often.
It's like that now. Mazo is playing from completely down.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just at the upper levels of this game, can be it could just be, it's gonna be really tough to come back if you make a mistake like that.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, I mean, there's absolutely, we're Mazo has the first shot here, and if he could do something good like connect two of them together, oh, he came so close to clearing both of those, and it would have been a 300-point shot, but he just left two singles there. Oh, that hurts.
Yeah.
He's got the splash damage though, so that was splash damage, correct?
Yes, that was.
And he did actually hit a nice shot there. That got him, I think, 225, 250, or 200.
Yeah.
He did pull kind of even there, but.
Yeah, I mean, he still has, I think, one shot left. You can look at his racket. He still has one shot left with splash damage, which it's not super useful on this board, but it's still helpful. Let's see if he can clear this in one shot. He does. Both of them did. They're definitely pros. Those are tough shots to make on those snakes.
I was just gonna say, and just like that, with the one shot left with the splash damage for Mazo, oh my gosh, what a shot there by Maz.
Yeah.
That came across the whole board.
It just kind of, I mean, you hit the right. Oh wow, that's a really good shot by Mazo there. Yeah, and then some splash damage comes out, and this is a good board to have splash damage too. But
it's a fun board. Yeah,
this is one of the most fun boards, I'd say. There's probably 3 different places where you have a chance to get a 300-point shot if you hit it just right here. And yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of crazy bounces. What I love about this game is, if I look at matches I played from 6 months ago, there are so many shots that I didn't realize existed yet then, and like that are now required shots basically if you want to compete in the game. And once you see somebody do a shot, you want to copy it and figure out how it's done and do it. But everybody keeps, and especially Bozdich, he's really good at kind of discovering new shots and then implementing them. If anything, I always feel like I just kind of copy some of the innovations that Bozdich does as far as what shots to do, and then it just comes. But the thing is, once you've seen it once, it just comes down to execution then.
Right. And if I'm not mistaken, then you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I did see a power-up come up, and both players shot directly away from it. Was that one of the power-ups we're talking about that did not really help?
You know what? I think it was. Oh wait, I think it was. So there's one power-up. I'm not sure which one it is, but there's one power-up called Hyperspeed, which. You know what? They did hit it. Everything's sped up now, and it just slowed down. Okay, that's what happened. But that particular power-up is not super useful because it speeds everything up for both players. What it's good for is if you're losing, it throws everything off, so it makes sense to hit it if you're losing because all the mechanics of the whole game change, and it can be we're really close here. So this is, I think this is the last snake, and if Mazo, if he would have cleared that, it would have been game over, but he didn't. Oh man, he needed to do that.
Wait, so Mazo actually did get the win?
Oh, it was Mazo. Okay, I'm sorry.
It was Mazo. Yeah, no worries. I was gonna say he was up there. So
I didn't
think
I had red
his
blue
first set win.
But yeah, yes, Mazo came away with that one.
All right, good. So here we go. So you guys get the first hit here.
Mazo's in the red.
150.
Yeah. And this is a pretty. This first wave here is pretty. 99.9% of the time, it's just going to be 150 back and forth with top players, and that's the same shot. It's just a 50-point bonus for finishing the wave. But this is the wave where you can get 700-point shots if you're lucky, or a 275 is really good here. But sometimes if you can bounce it off the top just right.
Right.
Really
it looked like Boz almost was going to do it there.
Yeah, close to it. It just doesn't quite. Yeah. This is a frustrating board in that it feels. I mean, it's not luck based. There's certainly ways to do it, but But sometimes, I said before, the biggest shot I've ever seen in the game was 725, and it was on this board against me by somebody who had just started playing the game, and I'm sure it was great for them, but it's kind of frustrating for me. But I'd say, even though this is a little bit more of a luck-based board, it's one of the most fun to play. It just really feels like pinball-y action going all over the place. And it's just it's an exciting one to play. Oh, that's
we're on wave 3 here, and it was tied up, but it looked like Boz got the jackpot.
Yeah, Mazo missed the chance. Oh, that's a good shot to get both those. He missed his chance at the jackpot, and then Boz capitalized and got it. But again, this is. What you want to try to do is connect, again, 2 of these targets here, but it's kind of tough to do. And now they're all just separate, so they're just going to I'm sure they'll finish this up without mistakes, just each clearing one of them and then go into the next thing. Pretty much even. Oh, well, I lied. But it's...
I was going to say, yeah.
And yeah, this is another board where it comes down to not making a mistake. These are fairly easy shots when in normal circumstances, but obviously there's a lot of pressure in a tournament situation like this, so you never know. That's a good shot.
Yeah, a pretty good hit.
And then, but Bostic equalizes. I mean, he does the exact. And now these are pretty standard shots. They're both going to clear these for 150, and then there's going to be one little target behind them that they're going to get here. But yeah, they'll just clear that. Now this is a board. So that last board was kind of just standard fare, nothing too exciting. But this board, there's a lot of potentially big shots and splash damage, which Mazo does get. Is super helpful here.
Let's see what he can do.
He
325.
He clears both of those. Yeah, that's a really good shot. And so what you want to do with the Mazo, if you do things just right, you can kind of use the tractor beam to make sure things line up. That's what Bostic is doing now. He's flicking the ball so that it lines up just perfectly, so he can come down and kill both of those with one shot. And that's the way to use the tractor beam.
Splash damage. Yeah, sorry to interrupt you there. Even without splash damage, wait, on this last splash damage shot, he only gets 55 there for Mazo. Even without it, poor Boz is still hitting these incredible shots without it, getting even.
Oh, now that's a miss, because these are regenerating targets, and so you have to hit these particular targets 5 times, and if you miss it, then it's going to start, popping back, and so it's always a risk to try to hit those, because if you hit it and like Mazo does right there, doesn't quite hit it right, then it's easy for Bostic to come up and clear afterwards.
85 to 15. Let's see, Mazo has to get some good shots to keep himself alive.
And yeah, that's.
Oh, and that is it.
I mean,
is all she wrote.
Yeah. Yep.
Just like that, Boz takes it down, does win. Complete semifinal, 2-0.
That was a good match. That was a really good match.
That was a good match. That was. I mean, I think the scoreboard read a lot worse than what it actually was. Each game that they played was close until the end, until the chaos happened.
I mean, honestly,
it was a lot closer than what the scoreboard
was. Honestly, even if I lose a particular set, if it's not a knockout, if it goes to points or it goes to the 5 minutes have elapsed, it goes to time, it's kind of a victory in some sense. I mean, it was that's a really good shot. It's a close 400-point shot. That's a really good one. It's a close one if it doesn't go to a KO. So yeah, I guess we're in the 3rd place game right now.
Correct.
Is what's going on. Okay.
Correct. Mazo versus Stand Atlantic. Jumping off the match, set one here.
And Mazo got that 400-point shot, which is about the best it is the best you can do. You can maybe get 425 on this one, but it's a tough shot. And with that, I mean, he's got a pretty commanding lead here already. Stand Atlantic has the shot, but yeah, it's gonna be, it's Mazo's set to win for sure at this point.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's something that makes it makes the game really fun when there's big 400-point shots available, but it stinks when you're not the one that's able to capitalize on it, especially because that is a
huge miss then.
That is a big, and this is a tough target to clear in one shot, which Stand Atlantic does. I mean, he's got himself. That's a big turn there. He got himself back in the game for sure.
Amazing.
That's a
just
huge
like
mistake.
that.
I mean, yeah, that's probably it. Yeah. Okay.
Just like that. Yep. Mazo takes it down here. Takes it down. Set one, match one. Mazo up 1-0 right now.
Yeah, and so with the game being a tug of war where you each start off at 500 points, basically it just takes 500 points to win the game. When you get 1,000 points, it's game over. So as you can imagine, a 400-point shot, it's 80% of the way to victory on a particular set. It can pretty much turn things completely at that point.
Right. Because you can only imagine if you're hitting a 400-point shot, your opponent is not. If they hit a classic standard 200-point shot, that still gives you 200 in the positives there. So.
Yeah, and on that board where he got the 400, there is another 400-point shot, but it's a little bit harder to hit. And, I mean, both of them are... No 400-point shot in the game is easy, and it's the kind of thing even the top-level players can maybe hit it 20% of the time at the very best. They're not easy shots at all. And this particular board is another one where there's just a lot of... I really do like this. This is Reps is the name of this set of waves. And it's a lot of kind of standard shots, but it really requires, I don't know, it's one of the levels that requires a lot of consistency. There's a lot of, I mean, I assume the name reps refers, it's repetitions, and it's because there are a lot of repetitions on these levels. That's just, so it's kind of fun.
I want to point out and ask you here, sorry to interrupt you.
No.
I want to point out and ask, Stan Atlantic here for a couple shots in a row there, and this might be just for this board particularly, but he was doing the overhand tennis slam there, as you saw. What's the reasoning behind that?
So on those set of shots, on those set of shots that were there, you get the best bounces if you can do the straight up and down shot. And so a lot of the high level players can do it, and I will say it is my greatest weakness in the game that my overhead lob is really weak. In part it's because a lot of times I'll play with, like, you know, 7-foot 2-meter ceilings, and so it's not always comfortable for me to be swinging that way. But even if it worked, that's just my excuse. Even if I were comfortable, it's not a shot I have in my repertoire. And yeah, most of the high level players do.
Pretty even board here in wave 3 still.
Yeah.
Pretty even board, still about 500 here. No one's kind of in command control yet.
Yeah, there's a lot of, they both have done equally well on this, and now going into this fourth board, there's probably going to be a power-up coming up right after this shot, and he does a good job to get the 200-point shot that's there.
Yeah,
and so
I saw the power behind him.
But he chose not to get it because it's a maze power-up, and it's not useful in this particular board. It's always frustrating when it's your turn to get a power-up, and you're hoping to get something awesome like splash damage or a jackpot, and you get... Now, the thing is, we saw earlier in one of the matches where, for Mazo, it was Mazo taking a shot on this maze power-up, and he was able to get a 400-point shot. It's a fun thing about the game. There's certain boards where certain power-ups are super powerful, and on other boards, they're just really, really bad to take. And he just got unlucky that the one he didn't want came out there.
And that kind of adds to the aspect of, like, the complexity and the randomness of this game, allowing the RNG factor to come in of someone else getting the first shot and then you getting the first dibs at the power up, and if the power up is not good, that kind of, you know, works obviously, you know, against you.
Yeah,
it does allow for different randomness and stuff within the game to allow, you know, rather than it just being straight up just racket shot after racket shot after racket shot. It allows different, you know, varieties to play the game, which is actually a very interesting take on this.
Yeah, there's always some risk reward, and you know, if you want to be the first one to take the shot, or you hope that you get the power up that you really can destroy a particular level. And yeah, these shots here are tough. It's those self-healing targets, those regenerating targets, and if you're the first one to take the shot and you don't hit it just right, he didn't. Oh wow, he got the last little piece of it on the rebound there. I didn't expect that. But yeah, okay, and that'll do it. All right.
Final score.
Mazo does take it down. So that is match number 1 going Mazo's way. This is a third and fourth place match here in the VR Fitness Summit here, brought to you by VAL Virtual Athletics League. Mazo against Stan Atlantic. Mazo is now up 1-0. Starting match 2 here. Even score, 500, starting off here. Mazo gets first hit. Where's he going on this board here?
This is one of the more another frustrating board. There's the big shots is to actually just take these pluses along the bottom, and yeah, that's a mistake. Now, what Stan's probably going to do here is connect these two over the top. He tried, but he missed. So now this is the standard shot on this board. You want to try to run across as many pluses as you can. You can get 175 here. But it's a tough shot because those red borders, that's the good shot there. Those red borders, if you hit those, this ball stops rolling. Those red walls, so you kind of have to avoid them. So the first shot on this board, there's common 375 here. Let's see what we get. 450.
450.
Yeah, the first shot. Ooh, that's a pretty good answer.
Oh wow!
That's the best answer you can get. I mean, it's not quite 475 or whatever he got, but yeah, this is a fun. This set of waves is really fun. There's a lot of huge shots here, and the first shot on this board is another potential 400-point shot. Let's see if Stan Atlantic can do it here.
See what he does. All the way across, keep going. 225.
It was the only thing he didn't finish those 2 targets there. He would have got 400 if he'd had done that, but 225. That's still good.
see what he can do here in this shot here.
Yep, he clears it.
200
That's what
brings
you
it
always
kinda
want to
even.
do. If you can clear a target in one shot, it's big points. He's trying to, he tried to roll into it with the speed panel and finish it off, but he just didn't quite have enough juice on the ball. But again, on this wave, another big first shot tends to be a really big shot, but actually, so Stand Atlantic did not go for the big shot here. The big shot's behind us right now. There's 400-point shots.
No bounce.
See
It is 425.
when you
That
hit
is the
those-
second time Mazo's
Yeah.
done that in this game here.
Yeah, and that's tough to come back from. It's those speed
Yeah.
panels there. If you can line things up right, you can keep hitting those speed panels. After you hit them, they deactivate for a short period of time, but they'll reactivate after 3-4 seconds or something like that. And yeah, they can be huge. It just makes the ball bounce forever.
But just like that, though, with Mazo getting that another 425 shot, I would imagine that he'd be able to, push this game down and just end it real quick. But he did only get a couple 30-point shots right in a row, and it doesn't look like Stan does kind of have a chance. But as I say that,
he does have a chance, but so they hit a particular power-up called Super Flow, which causes weird things. It just causes the ball to, it removes all walls and things just roll forever. So Stand Atlantic has to try to do a perfect up and down shot that hits that target twice, and I don't think it's a really tough shot. I think unless something, he's got to perfectly hit it, and man, it is a tough shot to. You need to have it go straight up. Oh, that's a bit of a surprise there. So he is going to be able to finish this wave with this shot, but first shot on this board, it's first, and there's a pretty easy 200-point shot here, which he does, and yeah.
Round one.
Just like that, Mazo's up now.
Score.
Oh, and again,
That
everybody's
social distance.
everybody's
Yeah,
favorite.
see
Yeah.
that?
I've never asked on the Discord. There's a pretty active Discord for this game, and the developers are really cool. But I know that they've taken turns on designing each particular level, and I've never actually asked them which disturbed individual on the development team designed this set of waves here. I should find out.
I want to find out and take their name down,
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah. What do you?
well, what are you thinking?
Yep.
2020's done enough to us, right?
Yeah, right. you had to
No, we had to
you had to
reward
ruin
it.
my favorite game too. No, actually, I mean it's a lot of fun, but it ramps up the stress for sure in the game. It's the most stressful set of waves, I'd say for sure.
It goes back and forth still. Again, so far in this match between Stan Atlantic and Mazo, I haven't really seen too much from Stan Atlantic. It's pretty much all Mazo here. But I think it comes down to the fact that I don't know if Stan's capitalizing on everything they should be. We saw earlier a couple shots that looked like relative, I want to say, ease that he could have kind of went into whatever. And he made a couple mistakes there, but he did answer and clap back from a lot of Mazo's 400-point shots that kept him in there. But when he needed the points the most, it looks like he wasn't able to grab all of it.
Yeah, I do wonder if maybe the stress of the tournament, got to him on a few of his decisions on. I mean, it's one thing to miss a shot. If you take a shot and you're not going to always line things up perfectly, but he's made a few, I'd say, mistakes and decisions on where to shoot that have cost him in a few places. But, yeah, so yeah, this one's still it's reasonably close. That's a tough miss there. And this particular set, so if you can get the three hits, you can clear it, but you have to do that straight up and down shot. It's so hard to do.
You say 850 to 150 right now, Mazo up.
And Stan has the first shot, so it's not quite as bad as it looks, but it's not good for him right now.
It's not good, right?
Needs something to turn around.
Right.
Now the next wave that's coming up can be super good if you can get a splash damage power-up, which comes up on it about half the time. So the person to not finish this wave, because they'll get second shot on the next one. Oh, I'm sorry. I should actually say the person to finish it is going to be the one. So that was. Yeah. So let's see if the power up comes up here. Okay, it's a jackpot power up for Stand Atlantic, which is he misses it.
He missed it.
And so Mazo did the thing where he kind of he waved his racket.
Wave there, right? I
yeah,
saw that.
I don't think that was a friendly wave. It's all's fair in the tournament. No, I mean Yeah, anything you can do to kind of get in somebody else's head, but that may have been just a little bit that the Stand Atlantic needed to miss. That's a good shot there. But yeah, there's
That jackpot is very beneficial because you get the ball back to you as well.
yeah, you get if you get it on the first time it's out there, it's 125 points, and you get your shot after it. Now the shot after it's a little bit harder to execute perfectly because you have to, you don't have nearly as much time to work with the tractor beam.
Right.
But it's still, again, when it basically comes down to the first person to get a 500 point advantage, 125 points is pretty huge.
Right, exactly. And even if you do only get like 75 point shot or whatever it is on your follow up with that jackpot, that's almost a guaranteed 200.
Right. Yeah.
So it just seems like it's something that you can't miss. Which Stand Atlantic did miss there.
Yeah.
Whether there was other influence or not,
they don't miss. I mean, top level players do not miss those power ups very often.
Right. See, I've seen a lot of 30s and 50s here from Stand Atlantic. It's just, and again, like you said, it could be just the board here.
This is another one of the that's a miss. This is another one of the social distance boards there are some decent shots here, but not a ton. So Stand Atlantic, yeah, he really needs to finish this in one shot, and he missed it. I think Mazo's probably going to close it out here. Oh, he misses too. It's not easy to hit that. It's not easy to put it exactly on the single hex where the snake happens to be at the moment. But oh man,
wow, they're going back and forth.
It's gonna line up just fine for him here. Yeah. So so there's a little bit left in this one, but the last two waves of social distance, it's not common that upper level players make misses here, so it's gonna be tough for Stand Atlantic to come back here, I think. Oh, but Stand Atlantic misses, that'll just about clear it out. Yeah.
KO.
And there we go, KO again for Mazo as we do finish match number 2 here. This is now 2-0 here for Mazo in 2 matches. Going to head to match number 3 here with Mazo in complete control here. Again, this is for 3rd and 4th place here in the VR Fitness Summit for Racket NX, brought to you by VAL Virtual Athletics League. It's a 3rd and 4th place match. Let's see here as Mazo takes his first shot here. It's about 90.
Yeah,
not a great start.
That's the minimum
imagine, but
you would probably get on a board like this. So that's a miss though there. Okay.
Let's see what Stan can do to kind of clear up. Again, only 90 there though. Didn't look like he left too much to be desired though. 150 there for Mazo.
Yeah, nobody's made any big mistakes here, but nobody's made any spectacular shots. This one's going to be pretty even going into the 600, 400. It's basically an even match at this point.
Right. Let's see what big hit Stan can get here. Huge hit with 200 there.
It's an easy.
Let's see how Mazo can answer.
Yeah, he'll answer, but not quite. Yeah, that's a bit of a miss there, but there's a few easy-ish 200-point shots on this board.
Right. Let's see. Stan hit a pretty good shot there.
And then Stand Atlantic's going to try to clear this one over here.
Yep, this would be huge. This would be huge if he can clear this.
Yeah,
It's too bad.
Yeah. I mean, Stand Atlantic, now he's going to finish it, and I'd say about a 50% chance a power-up comes up here after Mazo takes his shot, which he misses on. Jackpot power-up.
He can hit
He can hit it.
He can hit it. He does hit it, and he gets the second
and he
shot
gets the follow-up shot. Really, it's going to be a good. Yeah, a 155.
Yeah, that's great.
That's a big
finally
turn.
the break that Stan needed. Yes, that's the break that Stan needed.
And he executed again. It's not easy to hit those power-ups and then come off right away and make a good shot afterwards. And he does a good job there.
And and then follow through. So it looks like he's in full control here, as long as he's just consistent and reliable and can hit his shots here. Looks like this is
he'll clear both
pretty hard shot to come by.
There
Just as I say that he does with the KO here. So finally getting his first win here. We are on match number 2, and Mazo is up 2-0. Stand Atlantic is up in match 3, up 1 set to none. 1 set to nil, excuse me, as they say.
Yeah. So this is another one where the typical big shot here is those running the pluses along the bottom, but it's a tough shot to do. So I think they're taking some of the safer, easier shots, just getting the 90 points on the targets there. But so
these,
wow. So the thing is, I'm a little surprised he did that. But that Stand Atlantic did that there. Mazo's doing a really good job.
You feel like you would have to answer with that back, right?
Yeah, you really do, and And that's also partially a mistake from Stand Atlantic because you really don't want to give the other player the first shot here because it tends to be pretty big. And he did. He just took. That's a pretty good answer. It is.
That is actually a really good answer. That bounced around a couple times. 105 there from Mazo.
And now these are just going to be. Now they're each going to kind of take turns getting 90 points, 100 points here. Well, that's a miss. Okay. So that's an opening. I would say that puts the game. I mean, it's definitely even-ish again now. That was a 100-point mistake from Mazo there. Another place with a
it's
big
pretty even
shot.
here going into wave 3. Relatively even. Mazo gets first hit. That's a rocket shot in the bottom, rolling across. But it does look like Stan will get the bonus here, and that does look like splash damage, correct?
Yeah, he got splash damage, but his first shot with it was not good. Again, it's not easy coming off a power up to get a shot, and he's against the wall now. He cannot afford any more misses. In fact,
it's a nice good shot there.
Yeah.
Well, let's see how Mazo answers to it. Another big shot from Mazo. Another big shot.
Let's see, is he gonna? Oh,
Yeah,
nice! So he did that. He did the bod stitch move where he saved his splash damage.
Yeah.
And let's see if he's gonna get a chance to use it. He will. All right. Let's see if he gets. Ooh, that's really good.
Shot. Pretty good shot. 450, bringing him right back in this. Oh my goodness, by Stan.
That was a really good play by Stan. I mean, it's a great shot, and
what
he did a really good strategy to set it up right. That was huge.
Unmarked, would you call that a big brain play?
Yeah, that was definitely one of those.
I would call that a 5-head big brain play there by Stan. Bringing him right back into it too. Like, that was incredible.
Okay, so when
looks
you
like,
those
again though, looks like Mazo's not really doing too much to kind of push the gas pedal all the way down here, leaving a lot of room to be desired there by Stan.
Yeah,
this might be Stan's game to come back in here and make the match score 2-1.
Yeah, I mean. Okay, it stands. Now the first shot tends to be the biggest here. Let's see if Mazo can do what he needs to do to clear it.
Nice.
He does.
Yeah, 250.
Ooh,
but Jackpot comes to Mazo.
Again, yeah. And he does a good job. Let's see if he can turn around and get the shot that he needs. Yes! Just barely.
Not bad.
That's really. It is not easy to do a turnaround shot after getting a power up. That was a great move by Stan Atlantic. This is bad. This one's tough because you got to hit it 3 hexes.
Right.
And yeah, it can be a tough one to hit just right. Mazo got it here, I think. Yeah.
Okay, so it's back to pretty much even here. But Stan does get the first shot in wave 6.
Yeah, it's a good shot. That's
pretty good shot. Pretty good shot. Power up does pop up there for Mazo.
Oh, and I'm surprised.
Did he miss it?
He missed it. Yeah. It's a maze power-up, which is not even super useful here. So I think maybe because he was behind, he figured like he needed to mix things up, and he's just willing to try something. But it cost him. And so Stand Atlantic's got a pretty. Okay, that's a smart play just to take the 90 points there. You could go for the snake and get more points, but the snakes they move so erratically, it's hard to predict, and so it's a riskier shot. See if Stan, good job.
And does get it 150. He's almost done here. 945 to 55. Stan Atlantic is up from an incredible splash damage.
And this is the last
brain play earlier.
Yeah, and this is the last wave, so it's Stan Atlantic's to win without a doubt.
Right. It's just damage. It's just damage control here for Stan Atlantic.
The thing is though, there's a lot of
consistent hits.
Yeah. These regenerating targets. I mean, they're big point, but at this point, unless he does it. I mean. If there's 2 targets left. If he clears this one, it's over. And yeah, he did.
Right.
That's game. There's no way for Mazo to come back at this point, and he's just gonna make. He knows it's academic. He's just gonna finish it up, and then boom. Right. Stan Atlantic gets the
just
win.
like that. Wow. Stan Atlantic taking down match 3, 2-0. So now we do have the overall score as 2-1 Mazo. Mazo was out in front by a lot, and it even looked like Mazo was actually going to take down match 3 until Stan actually made an incredible splash damage shot there to kind of save the whole thing and actually win him the match. So it's Mazo's shot here first, again.
And the first shot on this board can be pretty big. Let's see. That's a slightly above average shot there. That's good. Not great. There is a 400-point shot there that you can maybe hit. So they're both pretty even at this point. Oh man, this is a good match. I'm really enjoying this match.
Back and forth.
Yeah, they are pretty. I mean, they're both top 5 on the leaderboard in the game. I mean, they're 2 really good players. Yeah, it was
Let's see here as it comes back to Mazo here, and he is up. He has the score, and he has shot in hand, so he goes about 725 to 275. Stan Atlantic just doing the looks like the bare minimum as he can do here.
And ooh, that's tough to do that.
Wow.
That's a good clear. There now, boy, he needs to hit a big shot here, and ooh, he didn't keep rolling. That's 175 is fairly standard, and then ooh, but Mazo misses the jackpot.
Mazo missed the jackpot.
That's big.
Right,
Yes,
right.
He gets it, and he turns around and gets
And
75.
yeah.
I mean, that's good. That's really
He
good.
had the
That gets
shot
it
right
back
there in
in.
hand there. Right. That's exactly what Stan needed, 100%.
Oh, that's a good shot.
All the way across. That's
Wow.
Oh my gosh, that was an incredible shot.
That is a great shot. Oh.
Stan is playing out of his mind right now.
Wow, that was
685,
beautiful.
315, and he has shot in hand. Let's see what I see. Only 75 there
that
from Mazo,
was-
but it looks like Stan does shoot and miss though.
I think the ball snuck up on him. I think he didn't expect it to be where it was, and he just bounced off his racket. He didn't even make a swing there, but still, he's got decent.
Flash damage going to Mazo.
That's on this wave it's moderately helpful, but it's not hugely helpful like it is on some places. So it helps with snakes. He'll probably he doesn't quite clear it. So yeah, Stan Atlantic's still doing okay here. He's got a good, he clears that target. Yeah, he's in an okay position. It's a tight match though still. See if we can finish this with straight up and down shot, which I can't do really to finish off that target. My Achilles heel in the game. Yeah, he did a good job. So yeah, this wave is just full of snakes, which they're so snake-like. So we hit the super flow power up, which gets rid of all walls and it just makes the ball just roll forever. It flows in a super fashion. And yeah, if you get it, it's definitely luck involved, but if you can get multiple snakes in one shot, it's big.
I think Mazo kind of does hit it down in there to kind of lower his score from 150 to 130.
There's 2 single snakes, and he doesn't quite clear both of them. Yeah, I mean, the big shot there is if you can get kind of lucky enough to line them both up, but yeah, that's a miss.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, that is.
Again,
like ball in hand for Stan.
The single, once you get these snakes down to a single guy, it's hard to predict if they're going to go up or down, and it can... Right. Yeah, man, that's like 3 times in a row.
He went right through him.
Yeah.
He went right through him, yep.
Yeah.
Let's see if Stan can finish it here.
Oh,
no, right underneath it again.
I mean...
Going back to Mazo. Can Mazo finish it?
Yes.
There we go.
All
Mazo
right.
finally finished it. Let's see, where's Stan playing here?
Oh, good, he gets that. Okay, that was close. He almost he took a bad approach on that shot, but he was able to pull it off and hit it.
Right.
And this
Only 15 there from Mazo. This is huge here for Stan. This is a huge hit.
This is another board where there's not a ton of big shots.
Yeah.
The first shot is big, which Stan Atlantic capitalized on really well, but after that, it's kind of just taking what you can
Up
get.
in the air, yeah.
And let's see, Mazo's going to try to go for this single snake here, and he clears the other one. That's a big shot.
Now this puts let's see after the shot here, let's see how Stan can only get 15 there. This puts ball in hand here for Mazo with a huge advantage.
Yeah, there's not an easy way to clean. Now there's big shots here. This is super close. This can absolutely go anyway. Oh, he misses it. He leaves the...
It's huge for Stan. This is huge for Stan. 190 there, giving him the huge lead.
Mazo needs to clear this target, and he does. Wow, this
190s, 190s. We're on the last wave too here.
Yeah,
we are on the last
this
wave.
is it. It's gonna come down to points, and it's gonna be who can clear that snake or run across those pluses. That's a bit of a miss. You want to kind of run all the way across.
Yeah.
Let's see if Stan can run all the way across there. That's a good job.
Good hit from Stan.
Oh man.
Let's see how Mazo can do here. Mazo lines up a shot, hits the pluses. They're only getting 30. This is huge for Stan here.
If you can clear this snake up top.
Snake up top.
It's he's gonna go for the safer shot.
Oh
but
no!
That's so by leaving that single,
all around.
He needs to hit that single.
This is back and forth. Oh no!
Mazo's gonna go for the single here.
It's gonna be time. It's gonna be time.
I didn't even see the time.
That shake his racket. That time.
I didn't.
Oh,
Stan got it, didn't he?
Mazo gets that win there.
Oh no, Mazo did. Oh, I didn't even. No.
Mazo. Yeah, Mazo got the win.
Wow, I didn't even see the timer.
520 to 480.
Wow.
Match number 4, set number 1. What an incredible finish we had there, folks.
5
down
minutes,
to the freaking wire.
And it comes down to a 20-point difference. That's insane. Wow. Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, this is one of those boards, the second wave on tubs, where there are a few 400-point shots if you hit it just right.
Right.
Let's see if Stan can do it. That's ooh, yep, That's a good shot from Stan.
With a huge lead here. Mazo answers with, it looks like another big shot of his own, only 150.
Yeah, it was almost really big. Let's see if Mazo, that's decent. I mean, yeah, at this point, the big shots are gone, and now you're just kind of cleaning up the board. That might be a miss. That is a miss. He could almost finish it here.
Stan can do here, yep.
It's so close. Yeah, 30 points.
70 to 30. Right. And I will say again, Mazo is up on matches 2-1, and we are in match number 4. And Mazo is up 1-0 here. So if Mazo does win another set in this match, the whole third, fourth place round is over. So Stan does need to win out here to force another match, a 5th match to bring it on.
Any mistake from Mazo at this point is probably going to end it.
Splash damage bonus power up there. Doesn't
he could win it here if he gets all of that? Oh, he did it.
He does. This is huge now. This is huge. 2-1. Mazo's up in matches.
Yep.
We're in match number 4. It is tied 1-1 here on sets.
Wow.
Winner takes this match here. If Mazo wins, Mazo takes 3rd place, Stan takes 4th. If Stan wins this, we go to a grand final match number 5 for 3rd and 4th place. Let's see.
Yeah, this is these set of targets here are tough. You wanna try to get 4 hits on the target, but you're typically gonna leave that single kind of piece of the target, and that's what everybody's done. Let's see if he can get. That's a good shot there. That's a good shot from Stan Atlantic. That's what you want to do, is clear it in one shot, and he did. So again, it's super close at this point.
Kind of give or take in these early rounds.
Yeah. Well, let's see. There is a 275-point shot if he can connect 2 of them. Oh, he does it.
Nice.
Yes. That is a good shot from Stan Atlantic there.
I think Mazo gets a pretty good answer.
Yeah. The 225 answer is good. But it is. This is. Stan Atlantic has a slight advantage here. Let's see if you're going to, again, try to connect multiple targets together, which Mazo does a really good job of. That's what you want.
What an incredible shot.
Yeah. He does the turnaround shot with the splash damage.
The fade away.
Yep. This is a tough decision here on what to do. He's going to try to connect these 2, I guess. He was trying to use the little tail end of the splash damage to clear that single. He just missed it, but it's a tough one to do. And yeah, now they're just. Okay, so it's pretty even going into the 3rd, or no, 4th round. I'm sorry. Yeah, 4th round. This set.
Starting off 275, but there is a 125 jackpot there.
Oh.
He misses it.
Oh, that's big, and the Mazo's probably going to get the 100 points.
Yep, he gets it.
And let's see what he can follow it up with. That's it.
Oh, no, and that's it.
Wow.
That's it. That's all she wrote, folks.
Turned so quickly.
Quick, tiny mistake from Stan, and it is all over. So you have Mazo taking your 3rd place, and you have Stan Atlantic taking your 4th place in the VR Fitness Summit here, brought to you by VAL, the Virtual Athletics League. Just like that, we're jumping into the grand finals.
Wow. All right.
The grand finals, Unmarked. We have our beloved, our common caster here, Unmarked, in the finals.
We're inside my head right now. Yes.
All right, so here we go. We're starting off hot here. Looks like Boz is in red, Unmarked is in blue. Looks like Boz will get first hit here. And
yeah, it's a bit of a miss there. You want to try to connect the 2. He only gets 90 points. And then, yeah, go for the bigger target behind. And it's going to be... There's not a lot of huge stuff on that wave. Now, this is the one where there's potentially some 400-point shots. If you hit it just right, you try to... Yeah, didn't quite do it there. Let's see
225, though. 225 is pretty good.
Yeah, it's not good enough. Against with Bostic and Islands. Bostic's just going to get it. This looks like a pretty good shot here. Yeah, he just missed it a little bit, too.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Nice 225 answer again.
225 is good, but again, yeah, that's a good. Oh, they get 3. That was a 300-point shot to connect all 3 of those there. That's a really good shot from Bostich. And then there's just a single here, so just kind of cleaning it up. But things are basically almost exactly even at this point.
Right, going into wave number 3 here.
I would actually say if it's 550 and the other person has the first shot, I consider that to be an exactly even game at that point. So it's 100% even going into this one. And yeah, nobody. This board, there's not a lot of big shots. It's just, ooh, that's a miss. It's those misses. That was a miss from Boz there. He didn't finish out the target, and I was able to there.
As you line up for the next shot here,
Yep.
looks pretty promising shot as you do clean out a new target.
And then,
Just leaving one left for Boz, and you do have ball in hand up 130 on the fresh new wave.
300
A 300-point shot there.
And there's a power up
At this
that comes
point
up
there,
for Boztic, but it's not a good one. And he looks at it, and I think it throws him off. And then he misses the shot into the portal, and then boom.
and then you get a nice KO here from Boz getting all the pluses out of there. So match one, set one goes to unmarked in the grand finals here. Starting off, set number 2. As you can look around and set up your shot.
Yeah, so this is the one with the opening shot. You want to run along the pluses at the bottom, and you want to try to get 175 and get that perfect shot all the way across. 150, almost there. Just a little bit off perfect level, but it's close enough. Bozich will try to answer, and he does. Yeah,
It's 175. Yeah, that's classic. That's quality there from Boz. It's now right here. Are you just gonna answer back? Like, were you shooting for the pluses on the bottom just to kind of finish
and
them off, or were you
I
going for
missed
the
it.
middle?
I missed it a little bit there with the 100, and now we're at the point where there's not. Yeah, most of the pluses on the bottom are gone, so we're gonna take turns taking the 90 points. He'll take the 90 points. Now, yeah. And then there's a 75-point shot here if I can hit it, which I kind of missed. But yeah, so this, we're kind of just cleaning things up at this point. And Boztic, what's happening is the next shot on the first shot on the next wave is so huge that nobody wants to take it.
Unmarked.
Yeah, it's
55 to 345.
There's an option for, you could get 400 there, so it's a little bit of a miss, but Boztic has a pretty bad miss afterwards. Yeah, so at this point, I have a decent lead in the game at this point. And then there's just a few little targets that it's gonna academic just to clean these last ones up, and then it's gonna be, so there's a big shot on the next wave, so nobody wants to take this single here.
Right.
So we're both just gonna clean up and get whatever 15, 20, 30 points we can get from these little pluses that are left, and then Boztic is going to be forced to take it because he's in the losing position. He has the fewer points at that point, so he has to take the shot. And then
just like that, you get 275.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, and that's a
Does
good
get
shot.
jackpot. So.
And yeah, again, Boztic is really good about. He's the best at hitting a power up and then turning around, and he has a special thing he does with his by not over using the tractor beam beforehand, so he's able to save it a lot for after that. He's really good at that. He's by far the best.
Looks like we got the next wave going down. Looks like we're on wave number 4 here.
And then this, that was a miss definitely from me there. That you want 300 points there, and I bet Boztic will do a pretty good job. Yeah. Oh boy.
A 400-point shot there based off your miss there. That's incredible.
And there's not a lot of big left on the board at this point. So Boztic needed that. That got him right back in this set.
Right back even, yes.
Basically, yeah. It's gonna be, there's a little bit of cleanup work to do here, and there's maybe some points to get, but it's gonna be pretty even going into the next wave. He's gonna try to bounce it up, and yeah, he missed a little bit there. You want to kind of bounce off the top wall and register 2 hits on those targets. I also missed. It would have been nice to register 2 hits there, but yeah. So, and actually, yeah, I mean, Boztic has the slight advantage at this point. Yeah.
But you do have ball in hand here going back to the shot. So you do get 150, makes it kind of even, but splash damage does come up, and Boz will take it and use splash damage on his first shot on the new wave. Put him up 625 to 375. You get a nice 125 shot there, making it even, but ball is in hand for Boz.
Yeah, and he's going to clear that. He does a good job, and then there's
just only 140 though.
Yeah.
Just 140 with the splash though.
Yeah, there's not a bunch of really great shots with the splash damage on that one, and that's a really good shot. Now this is the nuke, but it doesn't. I kind of mess up. I want to try to wait for it to line up somewhere properly, but I'm not able to capitalize. So you can see me shaking my racket. I'm a little frustrated. So, but what Bosnich is doing right now is he's holding the ball. He's just dancing it, delicately playing with it until it lines up just right, so he can nail the nuke and kill everything that's behind it. Yeah, Bosnich he's doing really well in this one, and this being the last. There's some big points on this particular board, but with it being the last one, I need Bosnich to make a mistake at this point or it's over. And he does a good job there.
Yep, you do only have about 20 seconds left as well. So it looks like this wave for this set will go down to Bosnich, making it 1-1 in match number 1 of the Grand Finals here. The VR Fitness Summit brought to you by VAL Virtual Athletics League. Just kind of clearing some stuff off here, like you said, back to the last 5 seconds. You can see, like you said, that you were very, very visibly frustrated there with that miss, but
yeah,
it happens.
Yeah, and there wasn't going to be...
Time's up.
Like I said, it would have needed to be a big mistake by Bosnich to come back there. He had a pretty commanding lead there, able to control. Alright, so third round of this first match. That's exciting. Whenever it goes to when Bosnich and I play, I mean, a majority of our games go to 3 sets. It's always super, super close between he and I.
Start off here, you're down by 300 or 400 here, but you do have shot in hand. Let's see what kind of shot you get there. You only get 105.
Yeah,
not too bad.
I missed one big shot on that board, and I'm already at a pretty significant disadvantage, and that's a bit of a miss. Actually, no, it's not. Oh, okay, no, I did finally get the last little piece of that. So that's what you want to do, is clear all those in one shot, and Bosnich just leaves that little piece there. So he's giving me a little bit of an opening to come back, and that's
a little bit of room there. Yeah, you do make it kind of even.
Again, though, he has the shot, but again, he doesn't clear. He gets a good bounce there. That actually works out pretty well, but he still doesn't clear it in one shot, and that's going to hurt him. In general, yes, I'm able to finish it. But boy, this is still really a close third round here.
Oh, what a great shot, going from one snake to the other.
Yeah,
300-point shot there. Looks like Boz will get splash damage though.
Splash damage.
And it's going to be good here, but it's especially good on. He's going to get 2 shots with it on the next board, and it's the one you talked about being your no, it's not the one I thought it was. I'm sorry. It's the one after this is the one you were talking about before that had so many fun shots to it. Unfortunately, splash damage isn't super useful on this board. It helps, but it's not super helpful.
You just take that jackpot there and do a little bit of a fadeaway shot.
And do the fadeaway for the
snake. 275.
Yeah.
Incredible shot there.
Oh, and I hit the super flow power up to it. The thing, it just keeps plowing through everything, and didn't quite get what I was hoping to get there. 200 points isn't great there. But yeah, you kind of want to, if you line this up just right and you can clear some targets, there's some big point shots here. Okay, that's what it all comes down to, is finishing targets. So if you see a target that's just got a 1 piece left of it, you really want to try to line shots up. And that's what Bosnich is doing now, lining it up, trying to get... Yeah, he just misses, though. He only clears that very first one. And he kind of left... He made a mistake because he left this big opening for me with a bunch in a row that I can clear. And that gives me a pretty significant advantage at this point.
You have to lead there. Yes, I can see that. Let's see here. See what Boz does there. Still playing with the no walls.
Yeah, that'll maintain until the end of this set, which it just happens now. I mean, it's a big advantage.
Yeah.
And even that's a mistake.
125 there.
Yeah, that's a mistake. You want to try to clear completely, and he leaves the 3 singles in a row for it's an easy shot.
You get the KO. And you do get the KO unmarked, and you do take down Boz in match number 1 here, putting you up 1-0, 2-1 on sets for match 1 in the grand finals here for the VR Fitness Summit, brought to you by VAL Virtual Athletics League. Unmarked against Boz in the grand finals, unmarked up 1 match to none. So at this situation here, unmarked, what do you think in your head here? Obviously, it's a little different because, you're up 1-0 and stuff compared to when you first started and everything. But it did go down to, 3 sets there. But in your head, in your mindset, What are you thinking right now?
I mean, I'm just happy. Again, I feel like most of the matches between Bostic and I go to 3 rounds, 3 sets, and to pull it out is great. It definitely relieves some of the pressure because I do feel like every match between Bostic and I can go either way. So to get that first one under my belt, it definitely relaxes me a bit. And Bostic and I are replenishing our fluids at this point because I know I sweat a bunch anytime I play him, and it's not even that it's that physically active of a game when you're playing multiplayer because you alternate shots, you have time to rest between, but just the stress of winning trying to be the winner of the Val tournament. I mean that gets intense.
Everything on the line, right. So we'll jump in here now to match number 2 here. You do get first hit. Now, what shot you try to set up here? What are you looking around at?
It's this. You're trying to connect these 2 guys here. You try to go from one over there down through the other, and you want to. In a perfect world, 225 is actually really good, but I left a piece on each of them. You really want to not do that, and then if you don't, you can get a 400-point shot. But it's still 225 is above average, and that gives me a slight advantage just going out through the first set here. And then,
and Boz actually hits a downer there, leaving a lot to be desired there by you, and you will clean up here pretty easy. You only get 50 there, but again, he did not get any points last time. So going into wave 2 here,
and then with me getting the first shot, that's a mistake though too. There's an opening here for Bostic.
Right.
Does a pretty good job. That's a pretty good shot. Yeah, this is a board where there's a lot of 150-point shots, 125-point shots, but not. There are some bigger shots, but we haven't yet figured out how to reliably make them. It is fun, like when you see somebody just randomly get a crazy shot on a board like this that gets 400, you start to wonder, like, how can I make that a consistent shot? But on this board, we haven't really figured out how to get that yet.
And on that match, the match that you do take it on pretty easy, and I feel like that was contributed to Boz making that negative 20 shot early on, and you just hitting consistent 225s and 250s there.
Yeah, I didn't make very many mistakes. I made a few little tiny mistakes, but yeah, that one pretty big mistake from Boz kind of seals the deal.
And he starts off here on set number 2, getting a pretty big shot there. You follow up with a little consistent 125. You're still pretty even there. Boz has the ball in hand.
He just
only getting 15 there.
He just missed what he was trying to hit, and it's if he'd hit it just right, it would have been 175. He misses it, 15. It's a big miss.
Right.
And I just go for the safe shot, the 75.
Mm-hmm. And any miss at all for you is still a miss, no matter what. You will capitalize on any miss that anybody can make. So he does clear it there, so you will start on wave number 2 with first shots. Going through the middle pluses there. Get a nice 200-point shot clearing off that target.
The thing that you really want to try to do is you lead into those big shots with those pluses, because they tend to be worth each plus you can kind of add on to a shot tends to be an extra 25 points. And that, again, when you're only playing to 500, if you can add, an extra 75 points onto a shot, it makes a huge difference.
Right.
And that's definitely what Bob and I are doing.
Nice shot.
So Boz there's potential for a really big shot here. Oh, and he misses that.
He does hit some downers there at the end, so you will get jackpot here. You get 125.
Jackpot, and
back with a nice quick shot, and you go across there.
It lines up nicely.
Shot.
Yeah. It was lucky that I didn't have to do a quick turnaround shot or anything to get that. Ooh, that's a really good shot there too. That's a good answer by Bostic.
Boz does answer with 275. Yeah, very much. But then you hit a nice 250 right back to it. So kind of minimizing and mitigating what he just did to recover from his mistake.
There's a potential for a big shot here, but nah, he misses it. There's a 400-point shot there.
Another
doesn't quite hit it
right.
right.
Jackpot for you, and you will do turnaround. You can see yourself shaking your head there, a little upset, looks like.
I could have, again, a turnaround shot's not easy, but I could have done a little bit better than that. It's a slight miss.
But even with that, Boz does hit a 20 downer, and you only need 110 now here to finish it, and it looks like you probably will, and you do get 125 to take it down. So that's a quick match number 2. That's a quick match number 2, both sets.
That might be the quickest match I think Bostic and I have ever played.
Victory.
And then I made a mistake there. I guess you know the match ended so quickly that I was just confused, and I you know, like I said, that almost never happens. So I hit the wrong button and I jumped out of it, and then I have to wait for. I think I messaged Bostich at this point on Discord saying sorry and let's go back in. I just had to wait for him to come back. But between matches, we take like a 15-30 second water or beverage of your choice break, and so that's what we're doing at this point anyway.
So again, in match number 1, it went all 3 sets, went down to the wire for pretty much all 3 sets. Match number 2, complete opposite tale there. Unmarked, you did take him down in both. You did KO him in both, and pretty much both of them were essentially easy KOs from you from Boz's mistakes.
Yeah.
Nothing that you know, and not to say, you know, anything, you know, out of the extraordinary or anything, but you hit consistent shots there. You didn't really hit any amazing shots.
No.
You just capitalized on the mistakes that he was making, which is what it comes down to in the situation here, you know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That was, yeah, I mean, I'm sure Bostich would agree that there was a few shots that I almost never see him miss that he missed on that particular one.
So now jumping into match number 3 here, you do switch colors because of the rehoster, which is not an issue. Unmarked is now red and Boz is now blue.
And
Starting off here, Boz gets first hit, only gets 1 of 5.
that's a bit of a miss. You really want to clear both of those targets up top in one shot like I do there. And yeah, that's what you're hoping to do on this shot. Oh, that's another miss from Bostich. He leaves that little bit of a single there. And that's costly.
Just like that, you're up 7-10 to 290. Boz only getting 65 there. He's not playing like himself, like it seems. He's making a lot of these little mistakes that are adding up there. You do get the clear. 750 to 250 there.
So yeah, I'm halfway to victory at this point. I mean, when you look at it,
Yeah.
that's a good shot. But when it's 750, yeah, that's you want to get to 1,000. So I got a decent lead at this point.
Again, I don't think he cleared that target there. Again,
No, he didn't.
720 to 280, and you look like you will clear that target there. You're going on wave number 2. Wave number 3 here coming next, and you are up 780 to 220 already.
Yeah.
Out of the
I'm gonna
gates, hot.
Clear this, and it's going to be 885 with Bostich gets first shot. But let's see if a power up comes up because that can change. No, I was not lucky enough to get a power up here.
No, you were not. No.
So let's see if I can get the crazy bounces and a little bit of extra for the plus on the other side. But yeah, at this point, Bostich and I are just going to probably, unless something crazy happens, we're just going to clear these and go into the next set. But boy.
Puts you up 910 to 90. Yeah, right. It's incredible lead early on. Boz does get first hit. Only gets 125. The power up does pop up. I didn't get a chance to see it exactly. It does
The splash
damage. You do grab it, and you immediately clap back with the shot right away. Putting you up 910 to 90 with ball in hand for Boz.
Yeah, so we're both, I mean,
hit it out.
just a single snake here. We'll clear that, but it's this board we were talking about before. There's a lot of big shots here. And Bostich, he's taking his time because he knows he needs to hit it, and he does.
And you get a 300-point shot, but you still have 1 splash damage left here. Let's see what you can do here. And with his 300-point shot, oh, what an incredible shot going underneath and around, getting the 2 targets, bringing it right back to 910 to 90.
And so Bostich, because he's behind, he knows he needs something to mix it up. He takes the maze power up and hopes that it'll give him an advantage. And I mean, I think it's the right play at that point. He's behind. He needs something to change. And oh, that is a good shot.
It's an incredible shot, making a 580 to 420 when it was just 910 to 90.
Yeah, I mean,
bringing it almost even here. Let's see what he does with this shot here.
You hit that maze power up, and it kind of mixes things up. And wow, I mean, that was a smart play on his part. Yeah, I still have the advantage, but not by as much as I did a second ago. Let's see. And yeah, that's a good shot. Ooh, and then the jackpot power up comes up. Bostich actually had the slight advantage there. Okay.
Just like that, Boz comes right back, but you do get the power up and a nice shot following it.
Yeah, I'm going to try to clear these 2, and now we're just going to kind of take turns clearing the pluses because this is another situation where the first shot on this next wave is pretty overpowering typically. It is a pretty big first shot. So we're just going to kind of squeeze out whatever points we can get out of these pluses before the person with the fewer points is forced to take the shot, which Bostich does there, and then I have a chance for a big shot here.
Nice 225 there to rip it off.
Not as big as you hope for about 300 there, and that's a that's a pretty good shot for Bostic.
And Baz's answer with 275. Still giving you a pretty commanding lead though with ball in hand.
Yeah,
100 there.
Yeah, that's a mistake, and I need to make, one more biggish mistake, I think, it is close. I mean, I need to just not make mistakes, and I'm able to clear that out. I just need to hit my shots, and I would win this, but that it's close.
Because we are on last wave here.
I'm going to run across and get that. And now with just 2 snakes left, there's not a lot of room.
Not too much. Right.
Oh, that's a miss.
But there's still not too much left for him to actually
there isn't
a gap here.
Yeah.
So
Finished.
510 to
so
me.
You do take it down 510 490. That was actually a lot closer than what it seemed like the whole time.
Yeah.
This is match number 3. Unmarked is up 2-0 on matches and also up right now 1-0 on sets in match 3 for the grand finals here for the VR Fitness Summit here, brought to you by VAL Virtual Athletics League. Grand finals here, match number 3. Unmarked, my co-caster, is in the finals. He is up in the finals here. Let's go. Let's see how we do here in this last match here.
I open up with an absolutely horrible shot, and Bostic opens up with an okay shot. Let's see if that's decent. I mean, yeah, it is pretty even at this point. Let's see if, that's a good shot from Bostic.
Yeah.
I mean, we both
looks like pretty even going in here in a way.
Pretty even. Yeah, pretty even.
Yeah. 2 targets left.
And these are just simple. What that was? I'm not sure what just happened there.
I think
he may have missed it.
I think he whiffed on that one and missed it. Doesn't really hurt too bad though.
No, there's not. I mean, at that point, you're just kind of cleaning it up. There's just small little shots left. It's not going to kill anybody to make a miss there.
But he does miss that though, and that does actually give you first shot on the next board. So maybe that was a bigger shot than we thought about.
Yeah, it depends.
So you do get the next shot on this target.
Yeah, he just missed. He just missed that last shot. I mean, 125 is okay, but on this board, it's not okay. It's not enough. And
especially when you're hitting 225s each time here.
Right. Yeah.
So 805 to 195 here. Finish off his last target here, and you do get first shot again in the new wave here. 705 to 295 starting off. You do go through 3 different targets, getting 175. Splash damage power up does come for Boz. Let's see what he can do with it. Looks like he does a little fadeaway. Only getting 100 though.
Yeah, he tried to do the turnaround shot and he didn't quite execute it right.
Oh no! Oh no! 995 to 5. Unmarked in the driver's seat for the grand finals champion. 175 for Boz, keeping him alive still. If
that was a good shot from him.
Shot here.
Yeah, see, and then I missed it.
The pluses though, right? But not much left from the board to be desired though. So not much more you can actually do.
There isn't, and yeah, I mean, and there is a potential big first shot here. So he didn't really want to give me that ball, but he didn't have a lot of choice.
Oh no! 200
so
point shot.
close.
970
so
to 30. Let's see what Boz can answer here.
He does clear that target over there, and then now we're just left with these snakes, which nobody loves, especially taking the first shot. And yeah, I missed that.
Right.
And
see how Boz can answer that snake.
He did a good job.
Snake.
Yep. And again, looks like I might get a crazy luck, but yeah, no, I missed it. Let's see if Bostic can even hitting 3 times a 3-piece snake is tough. Two might even be the easiest snake, honestly, to hit. They're a bit slower than the single snakes, and they're a bit more predictable. That's a good shot. There's a chance for a power up there, but it was a maze. It's not super useful on this board.
25 shot there, giving you 960 to 40. The lead here with ball in hand for Boz.
Oh, he tries to go for the power up and he misses it. Again,
this should be it.
He was
This should be it. And there it is.
KO.
There it is, everybody. You have it here. Your grand finals VR Fitness Summit. Racket NX
Victory.
champion, Unmarked. My co-host here talking with me the whole time. How does it feel?
It's amazing. Now they asked me to do this commentary before the tournament even started. So I don't want anybody to think that I'm in cahoots with Val here, but no, I mean it was at this point. I mean I was so ecstatic. I'd been basically training, well, for a year maybe for this, but all day lead up into this match, I was just practicing, and it was such a relief to have it over at this point.
It looks like it paid off really well because when mistakes were made, you did capitalize very, very fluidly and very, very clinically on your end. And that's what kind of made what made the difference there in the end.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was.
Match number 1 win all 3 sets, and then besides that, when mistakes were made, you said, "Nope, not a chance. I'm burying this. This is mine. I got it. All me, 100%."
Yeah.
And that's kind of what happened there.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. Just reliving it now, it's kind of exciting again. But it was.
Yeah.
It was a tough match. I mean, Bostic, he made a few more mistakes than he normally makes, but overall, it was still a really close match. I mean, it may not look like it, but they were. When between he and I, it's just a 300-point shot can come out of nowhere. It's
Right.
Yeah, they're all so close.
Right. So there you have it, folks. Everyone tuning in to watch the Racket NX Finals. We have our grand champion for the VR Fitness Summit, brought to you by VAL, the Virtual Athletics League. It was, fortunately, my co-host unmarked, and we did have some great commentary the whole time to be able to see inside the minds of the player in the aspect and seeing what he was thinking about compared to what I was casting about, what we were talking about, the player's mindset and everything. Honestly, it was a great experience. Any last words, unmarked?
I absolutely love Racket NX, and it was amazing that Val put on this tournament, and it was just super fun to do this commentary collateral. It was a lot of fun, and yeah, it was great, man.
It was awesome, yeah. So again, thank you from everybody over at VAL, the Virtual Athletics League, for tuning into the VR Fitness Summit, the Racket NX Finals. We hope you had a fantastic time. We hope that you enjoyed watching all the different events and games and tournaments and social challenges and everything that we did throughout the whole summit. And we look forward to doing more things and more, VR atmosphere events and everything coming up in the near future. So with that said, signing off from your host, the Collateral, and other host, co-host / Racket NX champion, Unmarked.
This was a lot of fun.